Welcome back to Hi Guys, it's your boy BDR, and I'm back with another WWE videos. Now, today's going to be the Backlash review. Backlash happened last weekend, 5 matches, let's go over them. So we have the opening match, the Fatal 4 for the US title between Fatu, LA Knight, Drew, and Priest. Good opening match. You know, it was just 4, big meaty men going at it on a Saturday night. Great entertainment. We got, spots and whatnot, including, like, what was it? Like, Drew McIntyre and Priest were, like, in the crowd fighting. Priest gouged out McIntyre's eyes and hit him with a South of Heaven chokeslam through, like, a table. That was pretty nice. Claymores, whatnot. LA Knight was about to hit a macho elbow to the announce table. Solo showed up. And, it's like, okay, every Bloodline match includes Solo. LA Knight tried to get Solo, and out of nowhere, like a big ass dude just shows up, bam, into LA Knight, to be revealed as the man revealed to be Jeff Cobb. And the funniest thing is about Jeff Cobb, he's not even a Samoan. If you look him up, he's actually from Filipino descent. So they have a Filipino on the team. I understand Tongans aren't Samoans either, whatnot. Blah. So Jeff Cobb shows up, destroys LA Knight. Fatu capitalizes, 1, 2, 3, retains. Overall, pretty good match from 4 meaty men. Nice. Alright, next up we have Becky versus Lyra for the women's IC title. Overall, this was another good match. Not as good as, like, the opening, but, it was still a good match, Becky, thumb in the eyes, hit Lyra with 3 man grand slams, but it wasn't enough. Lyra hit, like, a quick pin on her, 1, 2, 3, and, Lyra retained. That happened. Lyra stood tall. That's pretty much it. They're definitely going to run it back. Alright then, third match. We got Dominic versus Penta for the IC title. Now, yeah, Judgment Day came out, so you already knew. This was, your usual Judgment Day match. Penta looks nice, in all blue. Oh, yeah, Penta. They definitely had, like, a good match. Overall, then, like, the interferences happened. They were about to jump. Penta, Finn Balor says, I'll be right back right quick. Grabs a chair. Misses. It's like, you should have just punched him. The rest of Judgment Day was just like, you should have just punched him. And out of nowhere, El Grande Americano came out. With the steel head, with the iron head, and whatnot. Dominic hits the frog splash, 1, 2, 3 to retain. When are we gonna be done with El Grande Americano? Like, can someone tell me when are we going to be done with this? Like, I don't care for Grant. And now it's like, this nigga's gonna be fighting Penta for like 6 months straight. Oh my lord. I don't care for El Grande. I don't care for, like, a USA versus Mexico feud unless JBL is involved. But he's not involved, so who cares? I want better things for Penta. And Chad Gable wasn't even there, so that kind of says they have no plans for Chad Gable again this year. What a shame. Alright then, let's move on to our second to last match. We have Pat McAfee versus Gunther. Everyone expected a 2-minute squash, but like I said in the predictions, it was not going to be like that. They're going to make Pat McAfee look competitive against Gunther, and they kind of fulfilled that role. They were exchanging chops, until they were both pink, Insert, a joke that's kind of like, pinker than my tip. And whatnot, insert that type of joke there. They were just chopping each other all night. And yeah, even at one point, it's kind of like, Pat McAfee pinned Gunther, and you had Michael Cole holding Gunther's leg. It was just like, what? And again, Pat McAfee getting some momentum, super kick and whatnot. And, it all had to come to an end, Power bomb, sleeper hold. Pat McAfee goes limp. And Gunther wins. I mean, it was pretty obvious that Gunther was going to win. You can't have him lose to Yeet Merchant and then have him lose to Pat McAfee. And at the end, they're staring each other down. And Gunther's just like, okay. You made me use a little bit of my effort. So, good job. You know, Pat McAfee was able to get like a little bit of actual effort from Gunther. So overall, it was a pretty entertaining match. Everyone expected a 2-minute squash, and not gonna lie, except for me. You know, my predictions, man. You gotta go on. You gotta like go with my predictions. They're right for the most part. So then we have the main event. We have the Viper, Randy Orton, versus the leader of the C Nation, Cena. Last time ever for the undisputed WWE Championship. They have a stare down. Awesome promo package showing all their matches from the first time they met back in OVW, back in 02 to now. And it was just like, this match was good from start to finish. It's getting good, you know, takedowns, whatnot, stare downs, stomp, you know, they're doing vintage stuff. You know, and then out of nowhere, it's just like Orton was just spamming AAs. I think he did like 2 or 3 AAs, wanted them to like an announce table. So, you know, since Cena's a heel now, you know, up. Oh no, referee is down. Referee is down. They get a second referee. You know, Cena bops him with the championship. That referee is down. You know, Orton, you know, gets the RKO. Then you have Nick Aldis and a bunch of other suits come out. They're telling him, stop, referee is down. And then Orton just starts RKOing people, including Nick Aldis. He's just RKO to a bunch of suits. So you already know that fine's going to hit in the mail pretty nicely for Orton. And then, you know, after that's done, you know, Orton's about to go for the punt kick. And then R-Truth comes out and stops Orton. Like, don't do this and whatnot. Then, you know, Cena just hits the low blow, hits him with the championship. 1, 2, 3, Cena retains. I'm not gonna lie, kid. While the R-Truth part was pretty funny, I just don't like how Cena's just gonna win with like a low blow plus like hitting with, like, end the match with an AA finish. Like, please, bruh. That's like, you could tell like this Cena heel turn has been completely rushed. Like, you know, they didn't want to put Cena as a heel, and then it's kind of like at the end of the show, you see Cena just looking with like disgust in his face, like he's just like looking at the championship like, damn, I'm really a heel now. Was it really worth it for this? And then he just slowly just walks off. So he kind of just says, that's kind of like planting the seeds for like, yeah, Cena's gonna be a good guy again probably before the year ends. So expect that to happen. Definitely expect that to happen. And yeah, there's also a post-match where like Cena put R-Truth through a table and it walked off. This Cena heel turn has literally proven why like Vince McMahon never turned Cena heel for the past 2 decades. Like, it's too late. It's way too late to turn Cena heel. While the initial moment was like a grand shocker, it's just like grand shocker, and then everything else just felt like Like, everyone just wants Cena to be a good guy again, which we will get before the year ends. It's just this Cena heel turn, like, not gonna lie, Roman Reigns. I'm not the biggest fan of Roman, but Roman Reigns in 1 year, no, in 1 month, in his first month of being tribal chief, head of the table, was like, it's like 100 times better than Cena's current heel turn in 1 month. Just saying. The first month of head of the table Roman Reigns was like far more entertaining than Cena has. It's just like, I'm not gonna lie, this heel Cena thing is low-key a mistake, bruh. It's low-key a mistake. Maybe things will get better, but like, I'm not feeling it for like a Cena heel turn. I'm not. There goes that short mini rant about, you know, the Cena heel turn. He's definitely going to be a face again. He's definitely going to be a good guy before the year ends. Alright guys, that's pretty much been it for the Backlash review. You know, make sure to like, share, subscribe. You know, for more content, whether it be WWE, tier lists, whatnot. And yeah, hi guys, out.